One word to describe competing for SFU is tradition.
My word is success.
Determination.
Experience.
Inspiring.
One word to describe competing for SFU is excellence.
It is family.
Passion.
My word is pride.
Opportunity.
My word is patriotic.
I am Sophie Swan.
I am Adam Jones.
I am Peyton Smith.
I am Justin Guerin.
I am Victoria Saunders.
I am Braden Charlton.
I am Michaela Guerrero.
I am Graham Miller.
I am Christine Howlett.
I am Adrian Vanderhelm.
I am Michelle Waters, and we are proud to be on Canada's NCAA team.
And welcome everybody to the West Gym. Howard Simura here at Simon Fraser University Women's Basketball on Clan TV. The Simon Fraser University Clan hoping to get back on the winning track here tonight. The Concordia Cavaliers of Portland, Oregon in town to face your Clan in the first of two games here this weekend atop Burnaby Mountain. Hope you'll enjoy the broadcast. Our thanks as always to our producer Gabe Lynn for getting us on the air, and we're about 8.5 minutes away from the singing of the national anthems here at the West Gym. It's Diversity Night here, a great promotion being put on by Simon Fraser University Athletics, and more about that in a moment as well. After spending the last 2 weekends on the road, the Clan ladies finally back in the West Gym for a pair of games against the two Oregon teams. Western Oregon in Bellingham to face Western Washington will be here on Saturday, another 7 o'clock start. Tonight they'll face Concordia from Portland. More on the visitors in a moment, but first a quick recap of SFU's trip to Alaska last week. A week ago it was junior Sophie Swan, 25 points, 11 rebounds, leading Simon Fraser to a 77-61 win over the Alaska Nanooks. They're playing with just 7 players on the trip. SFU jumps out to a 31-16 lead in the opening quarter. They never look back against the GNAC's winless team. Swan 9 of 15 from the field, 3 assists as well, plus a steal in 35 minutes of action. Tia Sang 20 points for SFU, 8 of 11 from the floor, while Jessica Jones scored 14, and both players grabbed 5 rebounds each. 2 nights later, a bit of a tougher task in a 82-68 loss in Anchorage to the Seawolves, number 9 ranked in NCAA Division II women's basketball. The Clan only trailed by 7 points at halftime, pulled to within a possession to start the third quarter, but UAA on a 15-0 run to blow the game wide open. Swan once again led the team with 19 points, 11 of them coming from a perfect night from the free throw line. She also had 4 assists and 3 steals. Taylor Jackson, 18 points on 6 of 10 shooting, as well 7 rebounds for Taylor in her 29 minutes of play for Simon Fraser. The split moving the Clan to 9 and 11 overall, 4 and 8 in the GNAC, sitting in 7th place in the conference standings heading into this weekend. Of course, you know the magic number in the 20-game season in the GNAC is to be in the top 6. So this is as must-win a game as the Clan have faced over their first 13 conference games. Take a look at the standings, and that Alaska Anchorage team that Simon Fraser tests with great regularity has even pulled the odd upset against, but Alaska Anchorage leading the way at 12-1, and that's a team Simon Fraser seems to really get up and play well against. Seattle Pacific and Northwest Nazarene are tied at 10-2, and look at the streaks for Seattle Pacific and Northwest Nazarene. The Falcons with a 7-game win streak. The Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks are now called with a 5-game win streak. Montana State Billings and Central Washington each at 8-4. And rounding out the playoff teams, it's these very Concordia Cavaliers. They're 5-7. Simon Fraser, Western Oregon, and Western Washington all in a big bottleneck there at 4-8. So some parity there in the mid-level of this GNAC conference, and time for the Simon Fraser Clan to hit the green button, the go button, and get into the playoffs here in the GNAC. They'll need to start it off tonight with a solid effort against Concordia. And you look at the statistics and you would think, based on these numbers we're about to give you, that the Concordia Cavaliers would be huge favorites in this game. Yet Concordia comes in at 5-7 and Simon Fraser at 4-8. But if you look at the numbers, they certainly tell some efficiency advantages in terms of what Concordia has been able to do. And some of the big ones will let you know about here. Concordia, and this is the one that really tells the story, Concordia has the #1 field goal percentage defense in the entire GNAC. Opponents shooting 37.1% against the Cavaliers on the season. So they're number 1 out of the 11 teams in the GNAC. And guess who's number 11? It's Simon Fraser. They are allowing the opposition to shoot 44.4% from the field. So you figure something's got to give. It only adds up to a 1-game difference in the win-loss column between these two teams, but a huge, huge difference in terms of Concordia and Simon Fraser in their field goal percentage defense. And some of the other ones that we can look at as well. Look at offensive rebounding. Concordia is, again, number 1 in the GNAC, 42.8 on average. And Simon Fraser last at 10 fewer. So the numbers certainly are interesting to look at. And those are, we should clarify, those are indeed overall statistics, not simply GNAC numbers. And those are the numbers we've got from the fine people at the GNAC, and to let you know. So this Concordia team comes in here, a solid defensive team. And they take care of the basketball as well, and they get after it on the offensive glass. So Simon Fraser, if there's any keys here, it's going to be taking care of the basketball and finding ways to score it against a very, very stingy Concordia defense. Last week, the Cavaliers, though, dropped a pair of close games at home to Central Washington and Northwest Nazarene. It extends their losing streak to 5 games. And against the Wildcats on Thursday, Concordia fell 63-60 despite junior Bailey Cartwright's 12th double-double of the season. And that's an exciting player you'll get plenty of chance to watch here tonight. Bailey Cartwright, 17 points and 18 rebounds. The Cavaliers then suffered a 75-71 defeat to the Nighthawks as Northwest Nazarene held off a rally by Concordia late in the contest. So the Cavs come in 11-9 overall, 5-7 as we mentioned in the GNAC. And earlier this season, Concordia victorious against Simon Fraser, 79-69 on the home court on January the 6th down in Portland. I mentioned Bailey Cartwright. Also, Danielle Herzog is going to be a key player to watch. And Kiza Maltezo as well. So we will certainly keep our eyes on the ladies from Portland here as Simon Fraser gets ready for its 2-game weekend series. Western Oregon, as well as we mentioned, will be in here. The Wolves, that's a Saturday 7 o'clock start on Clan TV as the teams get down to about 2.5 minutes to go before the start of this contest. As we look at the overall GNAC standings, Simon Fraser coming in with the 5th leading scorer in the conference. Of course, that's the junior Sophie Swant. Sophie averaging 14.5 points per game. And she's tied with Sanaya Simpson-Patu of St. Martin's in that category. 5th overall. Of course, Herzog, as we mentioned, 15.6 points per game. And there you see Sophie Swant as she walks on the court. The Clan ladies wearing those special tie-dyed, custom tie-dyed shirts here for Diversity Night here at the West Gym. So 2 of the leading scorers in the conference will do battle. Nicole Vanderhelm as well, expected to get the start, or expected to play at least today. Earlier in the week, Bruce Langford, the head coach, stating Vanderhelm likely wouldn't be starting. You will see some heavy wrap on her left wrist. And that's been a nagging injury for Nicole Vanderhelm, the former Holy Cross Crusader who transferred back to this program from Santa Clara University. And Nicole Vanderhelm among the top scorers in the GNAC as well this season. Heading into this game in 17 contests, 12.9 points per game. And there you see number 4 in the wrist wrap that we were talking about. A great look by our Clan TV crew here as we get set. We're down to about a minute before the start of this game. Concordia, as we mentioned, Herzog coming in at 15.6 points per game, and Bailey Cartwright, the junior, 13.5 points per game. But Cartwright is the leading rebounder in the GNAC at 10.9 rebounds per game. So that's a 1-2 punch that the Clan are going to have to be very aware of as they get set to get to the anthems here. Some of the other numbers that we can look at is Keisha Sarman. You're going to see her on the floor today too. The junior averaging 5.25 assists per game, and that's going to lead the GNAC in assists per game. Simon Fraser and their great sophomore Taylor Drynan really coming on this year at 4.35 assists per game. Taylor on a Gonzaga prep sitting number 4 in the GNAC assists per game race. The one stat that really jumps out about Simon Fraser is to get down to about 12 seconds. They are the leading free throw percent shooting team in the conference, and Sophie Swant, the junior, shooting 92% from the stripe. She is money from 15 in those situations, and certainly be keeping an eye on that. We're going to get a horn right here and be back with more from the West Gym in just a moment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the West Gym for tonight's game between the visiting Concordia University Cavaliers and your Simon Fraser University Clan. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to tonight's match, today was designed to help support the university vision of diversity and inclusion. As President Andrew Patrick said, SFU is an institution whose strength is based on our shared commitments to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity is an underlying principle of our strategic vision, which pledges SFU to foster a culture of inclusion and mutual respect, celebrating the diversity and multi-ethnic character reflected amongst its students, staff, faculty, and our society. These commitments reflect core institutional values. They are only as good as we make them. In these troubling times, it is important for all of us to redouble our efforts to live up to these commitments. We are tall members of the university community to speak out against racism, sexism, xenophobia, and other forms of discrimination, to reach out and support those amongst us who are feeling anxious, dispirited, and vulnerable, and to demonstrate in every way possible our devotion to the values that bind us together and that we hold dear. In doing so, we can take heart in knowing that these same values are shared by the great majority of Canadians. We have the ability not only to nurture a positive campus environment, but also to help bend the arc of history toward a more just and compassionate world. We would like to extend a big thank you this evening to Taylor Jackson from the SFU Women's Basketball Team for leading today's event, and thank you all who have come out today to help with that goal. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask that you please rise and please remove your hats as we welcome the University Highlands Elementary School Choir, directed by Mark Douglas, to sing the American and Canadian national anthems.
and that's called making it work. A great job there on the Canadian National Anthem by our elementary school choir here at the West Jim Howard Summer. Back with the Clan TV. It's Simon Fraser and Concordia, the Clan against the Cavaliers here from the West Gym on Diversity Night. A great promotion here from Simon Fraser University Athletics, creating awareness of our world, and the Clan ladies wearing those unique tie-dyed t-shirts over top of their game jerseys as they get set to introduce from Portland, Oregon, the Concordia Cavaliers in their 5-7 record. I think a team pretty determined to break that 5-game losing streak and been losing a number of close games, including this past week, and that's got to be tough for Concordia. So you know they're going to have a fired-up team on their hands here tonight at the West Gym. Among the starters, Danielle Herzog wearing number 2, a 5'9" senior out of Beaverton, Oregon. Erin Higby is a 6-foot junior forward out of Spokane, Washington. Bailey Cartwright as well, a 6'1" junior from Pasco, Washington. Erady With out of Spain, a 6'2" sophomore forward. And Keisha Sarman, a 5'6" guard, leading the GNAC in assists, the junior out of the Union, Oregon. And now those are the Concordia Cavaliers. The Simon Fraser University Clan being introduced to the crowd. Tia Sang, number 1, getting a start for Simon Fraser today, along with the point guard Taylor Drynan. As we mentioned off the top, Sarman and Drynan both in the top 5 in assists per game in the GNAC, so quality playmakers at the helm here. Taylor Jackson as well, wearing number 12, being introduced for her Simon Fraser University Clan, the transfer out of Cal Irvine. Claudia Hart, the redshirt freshman from Sea Cove Secondary School in North Vancouver. And of course Jessica Jones wearing number 33 out of McMass Secondary in Richmond, one of the top 3-point shooters in the conference. Nicole Vanderhelm joining that group as well, but she won't be starting with that, coming off of that left wrist injury that's starting to heal as well. Kendall Sands among the group, and Sophie Swant. Not too sure what is going on there with Sophie Swant not getting the start, but Sophie Swant will be coming off the bench, we hope, for Simon Fraser's sake, one of the top rebounders and scorers in the conference. As we get set here for the opening tip. .1%. That's the field goal percentage defense of the Concordia Cavaliers, number 1 in the GNAC. Simon Fraser Clan surrendering at 44.1%, sitting 11th and last, and the contrast adds up to just 1 game difference in the win column in the GNAC conference standings. So we will see how that translates tonight as Bailey Cartwright gets set to tip it off against Taylor Jackson. We are underway here from the West Gym. Concordia is going to get that opening tip. Quick whistle though in the backcourt. I didn't know what happened, but a ball coming onto the floor from the stands kind of punctuates the start here. Sarman with a catch and shoot three, too strong off the back iron. Taylor battling hard underneath, and Jackson coming down with a rebound. In the early seconds of play, here's Tia Sang now quickly down the floor for Simon Fraser. Concordia victory in Portland in the Rose City over Simon Fraser early in the new year. Of course, the calendar turning to February today. Drynan to Jones. Just thought about the three. Cross court as the shot clock goes down to 4. Jackson in the post. Turnaround shot. It rolls home for Taylor Jackson to open the scoring here for the Simon Fraser University Clan. Herzog with the jump shot from the elbow doesn't go. Batted away underneath by Drynan right into the arms of Jackson, and they will foul Taylor underneath. Quickly the foul being called. The referee signaled 22, but I don't see a 22 on the floor. So we'll get that foul to you in just a moment. Indeed, Bailey Cartwright with the foul. So first team foul of the game being assessed to Concordia. Keisha Sarman, Union, Oregon native, leading the conference in assists, delivering down low and coming up on the limp there, really feeling and showing some pain. Number 23 Cartwright is limping right now, really favoring that left knee. Head coach Sean Kelly at the edge of his coaching box there to tend to Cartwright, but boy, she is feeling it. I'm not sure what happened, but the fans giving her a nice round of applause as she comes off the floor, being helped by teammate Erin Higbee. So let's wish quick, speedy recovery to Bailey Cartwright, one of the top players in the conference, as she limps to the bench. So in her place, Nakia LaSure, number 20, 6-foot junior out of Sparks, Nevada, now into the game for Concordia. Jackson impacting the game at both ends early. Taylor keeping that pivot going as she gives the ball to Drynan Taylor on the baseline. Double team comes quickly out to Hart. They kick it around for the three, and knocking it down is Jones from the corner. So Jessica Jones doing a great job there, coming down the floor. Hartzog trying to power the ball home, can't do it. They get an offensive rebound, and Sarman will reset with a new shot clock. 2 minutes into this game, and it's a 5-0 Clan lead. Shot fake drive, hook shot off the window is gonna go for Arady with the Spanish native. A solid move there underneath that sweeping hook shot off the window. Looks like a money shot for her. Hart underneath, can't convert. Sarman with the basketball. 5-2 Simon Fraser early going. Concordia in the half court. With is a 6'2" sophomore. And a give underneath. Sarman takes it to the rim. And the foul being called against Jones. It's going to be Swant and Vanderhelm checking into the game for Simon Fraser. That was an interesting starting group for head coach Bruce Langford. He's going to bring in his 2 top leading scorers off the bench to start this game. Sarman knocks down the first. So interesting here is Jones comes out of the game after having already knocked down a triple, and Claudia Hart with a nice opportunity to score underneath as well. So both those players from starting, Simon's heading to the bench. Promising starts to the game for both. Sarman is going to knock them both down. It's a 5-4 basketball game here. Taylor Jackson now with the basketball quickly to Taylor Drynan. Sang with a shot fake drive on the baseline. Double team comes quickly. Stolen away by Sarman. Quickly down the floor to Hartzog, and she loves going to the hoop hard, and she will lay it up and in. And here come the Cavaliers quickly out to a 6-5 lead. The pure freshman Kendall Sands out of Coquitlam's Dr. Charles Best set the check-in at the next stoppage for Simon Fraser. Sang with the basketball now to Drynan. A Jones 3 and a Jackson lane, the 5 points for Simon Fraser. There's Vanderhelm as she battles on the baseline. And Simon Fraser turning the ball over a couple times here in the early going. Sarman with the basketball. She commands the show for Concordia. Underneath, Hartzog with an offensive rebound. And a battle underneath. She struggles to get position, but she's got that strength down low. That's Nakia LaSure. She does a great job in the post. Gives a little lean to create that extra space she needs for some leverage. 8-5 Concordia. Simon Fraser in a bit of an offensive drought here. Here's Taylor driving hard against LaSure. And Taylor Jackson now set to go to the free throw line. Good aggressive move by Taylor Jackson wearing number 12. Former Brookswood Bobcats standout in the transfer out of Division I Cal Irvine. Take a look at the Clan TV replay as Taylor driving against LaSure gets knocked to the pine. Making good on the first. Kendall Sands now set to check in for Tia Sang. So already all 8 Simon Fraser players available have seen the floor. And here we are 4 minutes into the game. It's an 8-player rotation, a 3-person bench, and just the way it is for Simon Fraser. Jackson makes good on both. Clan needing to find a way to disrupt Sarman as she commands in the half court. The quick release 3 is going to fall, and Hartzog knocks it down. The senior out of Beaverton. Here's Sands, quickly checked into the game and now with the basketball. Kick it up top to Jackson. Not sure it was meant to her. They're improvising on the go here. Swant with a move to the basket, and Sophie Swant with a nice move there. She powers it home to make it a 2-point game. Hartzog down low to Higbee, fading Sarman. Keisha Sharman just taking what's available, and she knocks down the short little jump shot there, 13-9. Concordia. They make it tough for opposition teams to get quality looks to these Cavaliers. Here's Swant trying to bull her way through. LaSure with a steal, and Sarman will come down the floor to set it up again for the Cavaliers. LaSure back up top to whiff to Sarman. Cutter on the baseline. Reverse lane is going to go. And what a great bunch of execution there in the half court by Concordia. LaSure finishing it off. Bailey Cartwright, who limped off, set the check back in, as will Claudia Hart, number 13 for Simon Fraser, as well as Jessica Jones. So a lot of changes in the early going here. The whistle blows. And it looks like the foul being called against Aaron Higbee, the junior out of Spokane, Washington. A timeout on the floor, immediate timeout. We'll keep it here, though, with the Concordia Cavaliers owning a 15-9 lead. We talked about the must-win here for Simon Fraser tonight. And when you look at the standings and the teams that they've already played, where you think they can get their victories, I believe already 2 games against Alaska Fairbanks, who sit at the bottom of the standings. You know what? The wins get tougher and tougher to get down the stretch drive here as Simon Fraser sits 1 spot out of the GNAC playoff race with 8 games remaining, including this one here tonight. Simon Fraser does have the majority of its games remaining at home, but they got to start winning the ones that count, and this is one of them. A huge victory today it would be if they could find a way to get past Concordia, move into a tie at 5-8 with the Cavaliers. That's what would happen here, but before that's going to happen, Concordia would have to lose its 6th straight game, and you know that's a determined group for head coach Sean Kelly. Let's take a quick look at some of these numbers coming back out of the timeout. Simon Fraser shooting 75%, they're 3 of 4. As we mentioned, those numbers will even out, but Concordia, very stingy field goal defense team. Simon Fraser, 3 of 4. Not a lot of volume of looks, that's for sure, and that could be their undoing in the end. They're shooting 75%, but have only gotten 4 looks at the basket. Concordia, by their contrast, 6 of 11 from the field, shooting 54.5%. The 2 leading scorers are Sarman and LaSure with 4 apiece. 4 points for Taylor Jackson for Simon Fraser. So the Clan with a new shot clock will inbound coming out of that media timeout. It's Kendall Sands with the basketball. Claudia Hart, little shot fake as she drives, goes right into the paint off the window. Didn't get the angle she wanted. Hart with a nice job, just couldn't find the finish she needed. The redshirt freshman out of Seacove Secondary in North Vancouver. Higbee at the top to whiff. Here's Sarman, thought about the 3. Jones was there defensively. They go underneath, and a great job by Claudia Hart underneath. Disrupts the play of the Cavaliers. Everyone on this Clan roster, as we look at the replay on Clan TV, great job to, as they say, get all ball there. And a great look from our Clan TV crew at the defense being provided by their redshirt freshman Claudia Hart. Double team comes with Swant. They kick it out to Higbee, and she will knock down the triple. The Cavs are knocking down the 3 ball with authority here. 2 of 3 from beyond the arc early. And they double the Clan on the scoreboard at 18-9. Here's Hart, Swant, the 3 ball from the top. Swish for Sophie Swant. So Swant doing a nice job knocking down the triple. Great spin move down low by Bailey, check that, Daniela Herzog. Tia Sang and Taylor Jackson will soon check in for Simon Fraser. Sophie Swat checking out of the game, as well as Claudia Hart. And for Concordia, seeing her first action of the game, the 6'2" post, the sophomore out of the United Kingdom, it's going to be Rebecca Taylor, wearing number 34 now into the game for Concordia, patrolling the middle of the paint. Here's Jones pulling up for three. Too strong off the back iron. The rebound gobbled up there by Hartzog. Daniela quickly down the floor. The skip underneath is almost ripped away by Taylor. Jackson did a great job there, anticipating that entry pass. And it'll be a turnover, Simon Fraser basketball. Simon Fraser coming off the split in Alaska. A solid effort in the loss early on against Anchorage on Saturday. The GNAC leaders doing a good job to come away with a victory there. Whistle blows, I think, away from the ball. Foul is being called against the Cavaliers' Keisha Sarman. So it is going to result in free throws here by Jones. The team foul count 5-1. Concordia already with those 5 team fouls, 2:47 left in the first quarter. Jones with a make on the second. 5-point game now, 2:46 remaining in the quarter. Here comes Sarman right back down the floor for Concordia. Ball skipped down to Sarman. Looks like Jackson's going to get called for the foul. Taylor with her first of the game. Very quickly off the bench. Boy, they don't take much of a break here. They are working the minor officials today. It's going to be Taylor Drynan, Claudia Hart, and I believe Sophie Swat came in as well. Bruce Langford's testing everyone at the minor officials table. He is making multiple substitutions at a blinding pace here. So Simon Fraser, though, piling on some team fouls. Tia Sang getting called for her first of the game. The Cavs underneath with a power move down low and an offensive rebound, and they get the finish for Bailey Cartwright underneath, and that's why she's the human double-double here in the GNAC. The offensive rebound and the putback for Cartwright. 20-13 Cavaliers. Sang for three. Can't get that to fall. Simon Fraser's Kendall Sands goes crashing into Hartzog. And the whistle blows there. Well, the foul being called on Sophie Swant, and she's going to take a seat. Nicole Vanderhelm back into the game now. Baseline jumper will fall there for Hartzog. So Concordia, known for their defense, getting it going offensively as well. They're limiting Clan shot opportunities as a method of their defense. There's Sang with a reach, and she's going to pick up her second foul of the game. Simon Fraser very quickly ramping up on the team fouls. So Tia's second, Kendall Sands will check into the game in just a moment here. But first, it's going to be Bailey Cartwright stepping up to the free throw line. The gap currently at 9. Cartwright can push it back to double figures with a make here. Cartwright gets her share of trips. She's a 74% free throw shooter, and she knocks them both down. 24-13 the score. All Concordia here in the first quarter of play. Just a one-game difference in the win column separating these two teams in the GNAC standings. Vanderhelm, the three ball! So Nicole Vanderhelm measures up the three ball that taped wrist is not her shooting hand. It's a thankful break for the Clan as Vanderhelm knocks down the triple 24-16. Here's Higbee looking in the post. Easy entry. Vanderhelm comes in and tries to defend a second chance opportunity underneath, though, and the Cavs will cash in to make it a 10-point game. Here's Vanderhelm, a nice fake and drive. She is met defensively instantly, and here's Sands now with the basketball. Back to Vanderhelm in the baseline corner. She'll drive into a double team, skip it across court, back up top to Drynan. Taylor finds a seam, goes in and lays it up and in. A great instinctive play by the sophomore Drynan to make it an 8-point game. The Clan, though, need to pile up some stops here, and they're finding it tough to do, especially against the presence of some size down low. And there's Rebecca Taylor off the bench, the turnaround move in the block. 35 seconds left, a 10-point lead here as we approach the end of the opening quarter of play here from the West Gym. Claudia Hart, a pivot and pass out to Kendall Sands. Kendall driving into the paint is rejected underneath by Rebecca Taylor. Both teams with 5 team fouls here in the opening quarter play. 21.3 seconds left, and Taylor's been a nice presence off the bench for head coach Sean Kelly. Turnaround move for a basket a couple of possessions ago, and then a nice block there of Kendall Sands as she drove in to the paint. Down to 7 seconds left. On the baseline, a flurry of bodies underneath, and Simon Fraser's going to get the ball back with 2 seconds remaining. To get some kind of a nice look here and knock one down, it would certainly boost their momentum, but they're trailing by 10. As Concordia sends in Abby Aplaka and Tamika Etherly into this game. Hart inbounds quickly. Drynan will put it up, won't reach the iron, and that's going to do it for the first quarter of play. 28 for Concordia, 18 for Simon Fraser. The first quarter in the books here from the West Gym. Back with more in just a moment.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
For me, one word to describe competing for SFU is passion. Because to accomplish anything, you have to work for it. You need to love to work for it. My passion for basketball drives me to dedicate everything I have to it, day in and day out. I am Graham Miller, and I am proud to be on Canada's NCAA men's basketball team.
And we're back here with you at the West Gym, and hope you're enjoying this performance by the SFU Scottish Highland Dancers. Putting a bit of a modern twist on their traditional dance here for the fans at the West Gym on Diversity Night on Top 30 now. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Simon Fraser Clan trailing the Concordia Cavaliers of Portland 28-18 after one quarter play. Howard Samura here with you. Hope you enjoy the broadcast. And if you're a Clan supporter, hope for some Clan fortunes to improve in the second quarter of play. Simon Fraser doing a great job. They're shooting a 54.5% from the floor. The only problem is they're just not able to generate shot attempts from the field. Simon Fraser, 6 of 11 in the first quarter of play. Concordia, who are shooting 52%, are 11 of 21, so double the shot opportunities. That's the problem. That's the big difference here. See if Simon Fraser can try and loosen up some of the shackles they've been under defensively. Taylor with a shot from the elbow almost gets the shooter's roll. Instead, Higbee with the rebound. Hartzog, elbow jumper, too strong off the back iron as Drynan went in for the rebound. Sarman guarding her. The foul that was going to get called against Taylor Jackson, her second of the game, and Claudia Hart bounding off the bench quickly for Taylor. 24 seconds in, Taylor taking her second. Tia Sang also in this has 2 fouls, and both of them are on the bench currently. So Hartsock backs in Jones on the baseline and gets that to go. The largest lead of the game now is 12 points for Concordia. Drynan now with the basketball off the drive and kick from Vanderhelm. Jones trying to work some screening action on the far side of the court, but underneath the basket, a foul being called. And I think the foul there called against Aaron Higbee. Indeed, they're indicating LaSure with the foul, so I guess it's Nikisha LaSure with her first of the game. Simon Fraser desperately needing to get some open looks here. Here's Jones, a catch and shoot three is going to come out just shy, and the rebound gobbled up there by LaSure. Sarman weaving around. Cartwright to Higbee, back up top to Hartzog for the three. Too strong off the back iron, and the rebound ripped away by Vanderhelm. Swan now with the basketball. So a foul called on the Clan underneath. Nicole Vanderhelm getting called for her first of the game, the Clan second Clan team foul. Here's Sarman from 17. And underneath, the garbage swept up there by Cartwright. So 32-18, it's all Concordia here. Simon Fraser just unable to generate anything offensively. Tough sledding is what they call it against this top-ranked Concordia defense. Here's Swan for three, and she'll knock down the triple from the corner. Sophie's second triple of the game makes it an 11-point game. The Clan have to hope that the outside shooting prowess they possess can loosen things up down low. A give and go underneath. Great job, and they're unable to convert. Sophie working hard underneath, though. And she reaches in to try to rip the ball away from Arady With, and is going to get called for the foul, her second of the game. So Jackson, Swanton, Sang, each with 2 fouls in this game. Sang's going to check in now. Sang in for Jones. Concordia dominant here in the opening half of play. There's Hartzog. Sarman, as we mentioned, the GNAC assist leader, and you've seen a good example of why here as she orchestrates this offense in the half court. A give and go there. Underneath, double clutch underneath, can't get it to go. Claudia Hart defending. And Hart's going to get called for the foul, her first of the game. So Keisha, easy for me to say, Sarman, stepping up to the free throw line. Sarman, a 71.4% free throw shooter, 4 for 4 now in this game from the stripe for Concordia. And the lead up to 13 points. Vanderhelm up top to Swant. Drive on the baseline into a double team, and they just collapse bodies everywhere. They take away your options, and then they come right back up the floor and love to settle into this half-court offense. They will look to get it into the hands of Sarman here eventually, actually at the high post instead to Cartwright. Hartzog. And a drive in and a attempt to steal the ball, and Simon Fraser, some good active hands on defense, will get the turnover. Tamika Etherly also out there with that group wearing number 5 for Concordia. Lashur will soon check into the game for Concordia. And you see how Concordia gets it done. Big bodies that can move on the floor and play such great team defense. Underneath the Swan, the second she touches it, it's into a double team. They bat it away from her. They come right back down the floor. Look at that. As Hartzog finds Cartwright for the lay-in and the fast break. 15 points is the lead now for Concordia. Love to see a big Clan run here before the end of the first half. Vanderhelm trying to drive inside, and look how tough and how airtight that Concordia defense is tonight. If you're a basketball purist and you love to see teams playing great team defense, you're seeing it here from Concordia. There's a timeout on the floor. 36-21. We'll take a short break as well here for the West Gym and be back with more in just a moment. And we're back with you at the West Gym. The Simon Fraser Clan dance team entertaining the crowd here on Diversity Night from the West Gym. A nice crowd on hand. And it's been all Concordia, and as that Simon Fraser field goal percentage continues to shrink now down to 43.8%. The field goal attempts, certainly the story here. That Concordia defense providing its lockdown ability has limited Simon Fraser in 14 minutes of play to 16 shot attempts. Think about that. 14 minutes, 16 shot attempts from the field versus 29 for the Cavaliers. It's the story of the game here. Simon Fraser works hard to manufacture something underneath. Vanderhelm pivoting, going reverse, can't get the roll. Taylor Hard underneath, can't get it as well. Nothing easy, they take the foul instead. And that's Concordia's Nikisha Lashur taking the foul. Talk about a desire not to give up anything easy underneath, and the amount of pivoting that Nicole Vanderhelm had to do just to get that reverse look, and Taylor in hard to finish it off, gets to the free throw line but misses the first. Jessica Jones now in for Nicole Vanderhelm. Lead remains at 15 here to 5:44 left in the opening half. Taylor swishing home the second offering to make it a 14-point lead. Hartzog back up to Sarman, and she'll get it right back. Play some catch on the edge. Simon now showing their zone look for the first time in this half. This will be enough to throw Concordia off. Sang in the middle of that defense. Shot clock down to 4. It's working thus far from 17, and it's a miss and a rebound by Swan. Chalk one up for Simon Fraser. There they go zone, and they deny Concordia. Jones will pull up for 3, just shy of the mark there. And the rebound to Higbee. Sarman wants to push the pace before they can set up in that zone. She's not able to do it. See if Simon's zone can get another stop here. Lashur to Higbee, back up top to Sarman. They feed and cut off the angles, make things difficult. Will the 3-ball fall? It won't, and Simon Fraser unable to come up with the offensive rebound. So another new shot clock here. Hartzog to Cartwright to Sarman. they battle their way inside underneath the basket. Still have not been able to score. But they continue to get second chance opportunities. Now the whistle blowing and looks like a foul's going to get called here. Got no foul on the play, just a Simon Fraser, or rather Concordia possession here with 28 on the shot clock. We'll see as the referees talk to the minor officials here. Lead at 14 points for Concordia. We'll get it all straightened out here as Rebecca Taylor, the UK import into the game now for Bailey Cartwright. They've actually got the shot clock at 27 now, so they've taken a second off. Video replay, of course, something you declare whether you want to do at the start of the season. There's no video replay here at the West Gym. Here's Hartzog. Sarman now, guarded by Trinan. 4:17 left in the half. Sarman to Higbee. Clan trying to confound with their defense to get another stop, and this time the foul is going to go against LaSure as she bodies Jessica Jones underneath the basket. So Simon Fraser basketball, and the Clan, since going to that zone, and they switched it up a bit there, I'm not sure they were even a zone there, but they have managed to string together some stops here for almost the first time in this half. They trail by 14 with 4:05 remaining. And whatever they can get from this point on to the half, if they can continue playing that kind of defense, is going to be gravy for the second half. They just want to be within striking distance. There's Jones. Just looking underneath for Taylor Jackson. It's batted away, and Sarman now leading the break down the floor. Quickly to Hartzog. Back up top to Sarman. Go to Georgia Williams, making her first appearance in the game. Hartzog from the elbow. The jumper is going to fall, and good ball movement there by Concordia. Simon Fraser was playing some good defense, but Concordia is solving it to push the lead back up to 16 points. Taylor, the turnaround move. That Concordia defense puts a level of difficulty, a degree of difficulty on everything you try and do. This time, though, they will skip the ball out of bounds with Hartzog. So Simon Fraser with 3:11 left getting the ball back. That's the key. Watch Simon Fraser when they have the basketball in the half court. And the shots they're going to give up are there's a certain degree of difficulty attached to them. If they're not threes, they're double clutch, head fake, multi-pivot type of baskets. Here's a three ball from Drynan, off the mark, off the back iron, and Higbee with the rebound. Higbee will slow it up as she comes across half court, finds her point guard Sarman. Three ball hoisted off the mark there by Williams. Jones now bringing the ball up for Simon Fraser. Vanderhelm to skip down to Jackson. She's got the one-on-one move, and Taylor makes the quick move to draw the contact underneath. And so good recognition there from Simon Fraser, the foul being called against Higbee. And Taylor skilled enough in the one-on-ones to get what she wants there. The key there, Jackson reacting before that double team came and took advantage of the one-on-one matchup down low to draw the contact. 2:39 remaining. Concordia with a win in the Rose City over Simon Fraser in early January. They want to get the season sweep here and snap a 5-game losing streak. They've got a 14-point lead as Jackson makes the second free throw. Higbee to Sarman. Great defense from Sophie Swan. She's just an energy player, and she just settles in her defensive stance, determined to get a steal, does just that, and gets her point guard down the floor. Here's Swan to a cutting Vanderhelm on the baseline. Defensive coverage there being provided by Georgia Williams, and it's going to go out of bounds. So here come the Cavaliers with a chance to build on this 14-point lead. Minutes remaining in the first half of play. Simon Fraser. Tough to put a real positive spin on this one for the home team here today. Hartzog with the basketball. Williams back up top to Sarman, to Higbee. We'll find Williams in the far corner. She's going to drive it with 5 on the shot clock. Ooh, and there's going to be a travel there. Good call by the official as Rebecca Taylor, hurried by the Clan defense, turns the ball over. Brady with number 24, the 6'2 sophomore, the Spanish native now into the game for Concordia. Abby Aplaka, the 5'8 guard, the Punahou High native. Punahou, I believe, the high school of Barack Obama. Here's Swant knifing through the defense. She will take a tumble as that Concordia defense tries to take away the angle from Sophie Swant, and she's so determined on the floor. So Swant now set to go to the free throw line. Get the first to rattle home. Think about all the baskets Simon Fraser has scored in this opening half of play and how tough it is just to get a good solid look at the basket, and then try to think of how many easy baskets they've gotten. As Swant fires off the back iron. A rebound there. Swant dials up a 3-ball, well off the mark there, but Vanderhelm gets it underneath, and Nicole, credit to her, despite that injured left wrist, goes up hard with 2 hands on the basketball to draw the contact. Nothing easy here from the Concordia Cavaliers. They are Cavaliers by name, but play like Bulldogs, especially on the defensive end of the floor. So Vanderhelm makes the first. Bailey Cartwright into the game for Wythe, who takes a seat. Solid job by Vanderhelm to cut it to 11. 13 left. Timeout on the floor, but we'll keep it here. And it's our first opportunity to thank those who help bring the Clan TV to the air. We mention them every game. We want to give a big shout out here to the SFU Spirit Shop, SFU branded clothing and merchandise, proud to support Clan Athletics and located at the Burnaby campus in the Maggie Benson Center. Pick up your SFU Athletics swag today. Also a Simon Fraser Clan merchandising tent right here on the concourse level of the West Gym, so a chance there as well. Charter Bus Lines, the official motor coach of Simon Fraser University Athletics, proud to support SFU football and all Clan teams. Happy with the job Coach Ford is doing, bringing in many top recruits, and Charter dedicated to providing safe and comfortable transportation and games throughout the Pacific Northwest. Visit them at charterbuslines.com and varsity-letters.ca, a project near and dear to my heart, the most trusted source for high school and university sports news in BC. Visit the website at varsity-letters.ca for all your updates today. Down to 1 minute remaining here in the first half of play. Sarman, a handoff play to her teammate Hartzog. They go looking underneath, and a double team coming very quickly from Vanderhelm and Swant. And a solid job there by the Clan, recognizing the matchup underneath. And Concordia calling a 30-second timeout. Foul being called, I believe, on Rebecca Taylor. We're down to 51.4 seconds remaining. Western Oregon is going to be in here on Saturday to wrap up this 2-game weekend series at the West Gym for the Clan women's basketball team. You see it up on the screen there, February 3rd, 7 p.m. We will be here as well, the whole Clan TV crew, to bring you live coverage of that game Saturday, 7 o'clock, Western Oregon, of course, in Western Washington today. A bunch of teams all jammed up in the lower reaches of those playoff qualifiers. Simon Fraser trying to join them here, but this Concordia team playing great basketball in the opening half of play. They get a miss there and the rebound by Taylor Jackson. A 20-second difference in the clocks here as we wind down to 40 seconds. Jones tries to reverse the ball. Hartzog right there to bat it back. I believe Hartzog took one in the face there from that basketball. It'll stay with the Clan, 20 on the shot clock, 36.4 left in the half as Vanderhelm inbounds. Quickly looking for Taylor, and that foul is going to get called against Rebecca Taylor. Oh no, yeah, indeed it will. Taylor getting the foul there. And that'll be her third foul of the game for the UK import. Rebecca Taylor, 6'2", a sophomore of Kidminster. Taylor missing on the first. Checking in the game now will be Aaron Higby for Taylor. It's a strong, thick, physical Concordia team that plays great team defense, and you've seen it here throughout as Taylor misses them both. Swant gets the offensive rebound, allows the Clan a great opportunity here. Simon Fraser has a chance to cut this thing under 10, and that's what they need to stay within shouting distance of Concordia. Can they manufacture something here against this airtight Concordia defense? It's been the story of the first half. Drynan Combs kicks back out to Swant. Jones now with the basketball. Shot clock's down to 4. Simon Fraser needs to put one up, and they will. They get it on the baseline with Sophie Swant, and they're going to cut it to 9 points. What a great job here, and that's going to do it for the first half of play as Concordia puts up a shot a little late. Simon Fraser gets a basket from Swant underneath, 38-29, and a great job there. We are endeavoring to get a guest here on our Clan TV broadcast. For our producers to see if they can actually get someone, and it's going to be Sophie Swant. So we will talk with number 21 of the Simon Fraser Clan. Sophie, thanks for joining us here. Talk about how tough it is to try and get good looks against that Concordia defense.
Well, they have an incredible defense, very physical, in your face, trying to shoot the gap. So that's tough. Their posts know what to do inside. I think it's just about trusting each other, knowing our personnel, what looks people like, and just relying on that and getting after boards and just bringing that spirit, you know. And
how big was it to get one yourself there right at the end, get it under 10 points, kind of keeping you guys within shouting distance in the second half?
Luck.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a strong post up, or a strong box out, sorry. It was just sort of like luck of the draw, the way the ball bounced. I've been in that situation, so I know how much that sucks, but luckily we're able to get a couple points off that.
Last question. This is a must-win game in a lot of respects in terms of getting to that 6. What do you guys need to do to play the best 20 minutes of your season in the second half? Understand that this might dictate if we end our season early. So just looking at the 20 minutes like that, every possession matters, getting after it, and taking care of business. Sophie, thanks so much. Good luck in the second half. Sophie Swant, those are the true words spoken from the Simon Fraser defensive leader. The hustling is Sophie Swant, and she says it right there. They have to play like their season depends on it, and it's going to be a great final 20 minutes of play here from the West Gym. Howard Samura, Clan TV, back with more from the West Gym in a moment.
For me, one word to describe competing for SFU is tradition. Because year after year, players old and new step onto the court with a unified goal to strive to be the best. It is the belief that maintaining a winning tradition is a competitive battle worth fighting for. I am Sophie Swant, and I am proud to be on Canada's NCAA women's basketball team.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
I've been playing basketball for, I'd say, around 8-9 years. My dad played when he was in high school, and every morning from grade 8 to 12, I want to say, he would be rebounding for me every single morning. I would walk into his room and say, "Dad, we got to go to the gym." and we would head up to the gym and just shoot and have a great time together. That's how I kind of discovered the game, and then I ended up falling in love with it.
That is the beginning of the relationship between Nicole Vanderhelm and the game of basketball. Over the years, she has dedicated a lot of time and effort into her craft, and as a result, she developed a diverse set of skills that make her special on the court.
My biggest strength is versatility, so I can play inside and out. I can bring up the ball if needed, I can post up, and definitely I'm a very aggressive player, so I bring that hustle, kind of blue-collared athlete, and as Bruce would say, a little bit of vinegar to the mix, meaning a little bit of, not so much attitude, but just aggressiveness and get after it mentality.
A native of Surrey, Nicole returned home to BC to join the Clan women's basketball program after spending 2 years at Division I Santa Clara University. She has had 3 different coaches since graduating from Holy Cross Regional High School, and that hasn't been easy for the redshirt sophomore.
Having 3 different coaches was definitely a challenge, but one thing I've discovered through it all is you need to do what makes you happy, and I know that sounds cliche, but just finding that coach that allows you to be yourself and truly wants you to become a better person on and off the court is very important. And just being able to play and see my parents in the stands, that's very rewarding.
Although she is new to the program, Nicole had played with several Clan players in the past. And as someone who has more experience, she understands what it takes for a young team to achieve success in a competitive conference and region.
I've played with just Taylor at one point and Sophie, so it was nice to be able to come to a team where I was a little bit familiar with them, and since we are so young, I feel like the way that we're going to win games sometimes is being aggressive and the hustle plays. So I feel like doing the intangibles will help the team succeed. A lot of girls are playing minutes that they didn't think that they would, which is great. It helps their confidence. It helps the team really come together. We're not the most experienced team out there, but we work very, very hard, and I think that the team chemistry will come.
For Nicole, results certainly matter, but what is even more important is that she is enjoying herself and having fun in the process.
For me, I'd say the most exciting thing about basketball is just like going to war with your teammates. I'm a very competitive player, and obviously you can't really possess that in all areas of life. So being able to just go on the court and be that aggressive, hardworking player and just going to war with your teammates, doing it for your coach, that's probably the funnest part of the game for me.
For me, one word to describe competing for SFU is opportunity, because I can continue to pursue my Olympic dream as a swimmer while receiving a top quality Canadian education. I know that whichever path I take after graduation, I am well prepared for it. I am Adrian Vanderhelm, and I am proud to be on Canada's NCAA swim team.
Hi, I'm Thomas Ford, new head football coach at Simon Fraser University. I look at Simon Fraser as not just an opportunity to have a good football program, but I look at the university as a whole. You look at it being the top comprehensive university in Canada, I just look at it as a situation where there's no reason at all this program can't be extremely successful at the Division II level. First and foremost, I couldn't tell you how happy I am to be here right now. Now guys, I can't sit here and promise you a thing. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and promise you that we're going to win 10 games next year. I can't promise you we'll win 1 game. What I can tell you with 100% certainty, and what I absolutely can promise, is that if you trust me, and you believe in everything we do, and you just do everything we ask, we are going to be successful. One thing that we all talk about in our family, in that Ford family, is you cannot cheat the grind. Everybody loves football, but I can promise you guys, football don't love everybody. And football in my program loves the guys that are willing to work. Well, I think the number one thing is getting the players. You know, we've got to be able to do a great job in recruiting, getting quality student athletes that are not just good football players. There's a lot of those out there, but we need to find the guys that are the right fit. I think the second thing is just getting the guys to believe that they can win. And I think a huge way to do that is through the off-season strength and conditioning program. Getting our guys and really developing the players we have, and then adding, hopefully 30-plus freshmen this fall to help in that effort. These next couple of weeks, you guys are going to know all about what Klan football is going to be about moving forward. Okay, this program is not about me. It is not about you as an individual. It's about us. Okay, and you will see this more and more as we go through our program and as I teach you guys how to win. Okay, I don't want you to think of this as a football relationship. I want you to think of this as a family, because that's what it is. My message to Klan fans would be to be excited about this fall. There's a lot of things that are happening here on campus that are going to coincide with the rebuilding of the football program, and I just can't wait to get started and really put a product on the field that we can be proud of. Guys, one thing I'm going to remind you guys, if you spend too much time looking in the rearview mirror, you will crash. 100% of the time. You need to look forward, because if you want it, you have to go get it. Ain't nobody coming to pick us up in a limo. I can promise you that. My last message to you guys today, buy in, work as hard as you possibly can, so it's very, very difficult for us to lose. Remember, the more you have invested, it's much more difficult for you to give in.
1, 2, 3,
family!
To me, one word to describe competing for SFU is determination, because I am surrounded by teammates who face adversity but persevere to achieve success. That persistence motivates and drives me to better myself on and off the mat. I am Peyton Smith, and I am proud to be on the SFU women's wrestling team.
When I first came to SFU, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted. When I got into my second semester, I suddenly wasn't so sure what I wanted to do anymore. So I started to explore a little bit. Archaeology, communications, history, even kinesiology. And then I decided to go on exchange to France for a year. I was an orientation leader for a year, became a community advisor in residence, helped start a choir, I even took a rowing course. After SFU, I have lots of possibilities of what I could do, but whatever I do, I know I'll be ready for it.
For me, one word to describe competing for SFU is passion. Because to accomplish anything, you have to work for it. You need to love to work for it. My passion for basketball drives me to dedicate everything I have to it, day in and day out. I am Graham Miller, and I am proud to be on Canada's NCAA men's basketball team.
Mental illness is something anyone can suffer from.
It isn't a choice or a weakness, and you can't just snap out of it.
But with support, we can make each other better.
Check in and care for your friends, teammates, or colleagues, and be a good listener for them.
Ask them how they are doing, and if you can do anything to help.
It begins the crucial first step of decreasing the stigma so that we can open up a conversation.
Educate yourself about mental health
and help break down the myths and stereotypes.
Together, we can shape the dialogue about mental health within our community.
And welcome back, everybody, to the West Gym, Simon Fraser University Clan women's basketball. And just under about 4 minutes from the start of the second half, sorry, out of breath, running the concourse here at the West Gym. Visiting with producer Gabe Lynn, and hope you enjoyed the brilliant halftime show. I got a chance to visit with our producer of Clan TV, and a great opportunity to see the production that goes on with Clan TV to get those great camera angles. And a great show over that opening half of play. 38-29 is our score here. Simon Fraser trailing by 9, and we hope you enjoyed our chat with Sophie Swant of the Simon Fraser University Clan right at the end of that opening half. Sophie battling underneath and very humble, says, oh, I scored that last basket with some luck, but a big one nonetheless for the Clan to cut their lead, cut their deficit to under 10 points. And Simon Fraser, a huge, huge hole to climb out of here in the second half based on the rugged defensive play of the Concordia Cavaliers. Basketball is a funny game. It depends on tempo and pace, and in a high-scoring game, the way Simon Fraser can get up and down the floor and shoot the three ball, you'd say, hey, no problem, 9 points. But in this basketball game, 9 points represents something entirely different. And if you watch the opening half with us here on Clan TV, you know what I'm talking about. Concordia locking it down on defense. What a great job they did to limit Simon Fraser in 20 minutes of play to 22 shot attempts from the field. Think about that for a second. And you will know Simon Fraser had to battle. Sophie Swan was more out of breath than I am right now, being out of shape and running around the West Gym. Sophie, a fine-tuned athlete, but obviously that is tough sledding, playing against that tough Concordia defense. Concordia limiting Simon Fraser to 8 of 22 from the field. Simon Fraser tried to loosen up the seams in that defense with 11 three-point attempts, but they only went 4 of 11. So half of their attempts coming from beyond the arc. The free throws, Simon Fraser 9 of 14. Some other numbers as we get through these will tell you the story here. Concordia was 15 of 37. They're shooting 40%. They only shot 25% in the second quarter, but they shot 11 of 21 from the field in that opening quarter of play. They took a 10-point lead, and that lead right now is at 9 points. So it was, the game took a step back to the peach basket era in that second quarter, but it does set the stage for perhaps a tempo change if Simon Fraser can begin to dictate some tempo here. And it's not like Concordia, is the best team in the GNAC. They are 1 win ahead of Simon Fraser in the conference standings. They own that 6th and final playoff spot heading into play tonight. So it's up to Simon Fraser to loosen the screws if they can and try to find some seams. A dribble drive penetration series in the half court would certainly begin to loosen things up. Then comes the three ball, then comes some transition, and that's the way Simon Fraser can get back into this basketball game. They trail by 9. The leading scorers for the Clan, Swanton with 11 points. The only double-digit scorer for her team, 7 points as well for Taylor Jackson. Danielle Herzog, the guard, with 11 points to lead the way for Concordia. Bailey Cartwright as well with 10 points. They are the 2 leading scorers for the Cavaliers. And the rebounding story we've got to get to let you know that Concordia not only out-rebounded Simon Fraser 22-12, they had 11 offensive rebounds versus only 8 defensive rebounds by Simon Fraser. And that will not get it done if you're Simon Fraser. Simon Fraser's defensive glass, they got out-rebounded by 3 boards, and you're not going to see that happen too many times in any basketball situation. But 11 offensive rebounds to 8 defensive rebounds on Simon Fraser's defensive glass. We're underway here in the second half of play. Concordia is going left to right on your TV monitor. They're wearing the blue. They've got the ball right now. And that's whiff to Higbee. Back up top to Hartzog, and she's going to switch the 3 ball. Not the start of the script Simon Fraser wanted, this low-scoring battle. And they will trail by 12 points. Simon Fraser with Swant at the top. Sophie cross-court pass here to Drynan. Sang the entry off the fingertips of Swant and into the hands of Hartzog. Daniela running the 2-on-1. Higbee wants to pull up and shoot the short jumper, but coming in a little too strong. Taylor Drynan. Ball goes out of bounds and it'll stay with the Cavaliers. Concordia with a big shot clock here, 25 seconds still remaining. They go to Hartzog. Higbee back to Hartzog, driving on Sang. Bump and a dish to Higbee on the baseline, off the mark, and Swan with the rebound there. So for the outlet to Dryden. Sarman for the entire game. Here's Sang to a cutting Taylor, one bounce underneath, and Taylor will lay it up and into the great basket there from Jackson to make it a 10-point deficit. Taylor automatic with that one bounce. She steadies herself in a great form she shows on that turnaround. Here's Hartzog, catch and shoot, little baby jump shot is going to fall for Daniela Hartzog. Execution, execution, execution. How many times can you say it? Both defensively and offensively for Concordia. It's a big test here for the Clan. Little handoff play to Dryden. She dribbles to the free throw line, kicks it back out to Jessica Jones. Jones the drive and kick, and Sang for three. Too strong off the back iron into the hands of Hartzog. Higbee able to corral that before it went into the crowd with looking on the baseline there, trying to find Cartwright, and Taylor Jackson in the way to steal it away. Taylor from 18 rears up and shoots off the front of the iron, scooped up by Sang, and she'll kick it right back out to Dryden with a new shot clock. Nice dish off the drive though, but it's stolen away as Jones tried to find Taylor in the paint. Sarman to Hartzog, they find Cartwright on the baseline. It's Higbee, one bump, and they're going to call the block underneath. Tia Sang will pick up her third foul of the game, I believe. So Tia with her third, and Nicole Vanderhelm, number 4, will check into the game for Simon Fraser. It's going to be... Well, LaSure was going to check into the game. She heads back to the bench as Higbee misses on the first. Vanderhelm, though, set the check in. And Sang with those 3 fouls will check out of the game. I think Sang the first of 3 fouls in this game for Simon Fraser. 12 points to lead. The Clan had cut it to 9 at the half. Higbee with a miss. But chased down by Cartwright, back up to Sarman, and they'll reset the machine again from the top. Hartzog to Higbee on the baseline, and Higbee swishes it. She loves that short little jump, baseline jumper. And here come the Cavs, a 14-point lead. They've extended it by 5 here in the early stages of the third quarter. Dryden working off the high screen from Taylor Jackson. Stops at the free throw line. Sarman guarding her closely. Jones now with a nice drive on the baseline. Kicks back up top to Taylor Jackson. Batted away as they tried to get it to Dryden. And Sarman's going to go in for the easy basket. It's a 16-point lead for the Concordia Cavaliers. Here's Taylor out of control off the window as he crashes to the pine. Concordia feed the post, kick it back out, and Sarman with a rescue just outside of half court. Higbee with a basketball, swamp guards her, shot clock down to 10. To look underneath, a nice feed underneath there for Cartwright. And Taylor Jackson with a great job to tie up the college jump ball. It'll be Clan ball on the alternating possession. Jess Jones out of the game, as well as Taylor Jackson. Well, Jess Jones, so he's staying in the game. Taylor will come out. Claudia Hart, number 13, the redshirt freshman on the Seacove secondary in North Vancouver, now into the game. Dryden finding Vanderhelm. Jones a little head fake there on Hartzog, puts up the shot and knocks it down. So Jones, what a fluid shooter she is. We saw that all through her high school career at McMass Secondary in Richmond. Much needed basket, cuts it to 14 here as we approach the midway mark of this third quarter. Higbee all alone, too strong off the iron. A great rebound there. Swan reaches out of her area, And this time it's going to be a foul against Concordia's Arati With. So the Spaniard gets called for the foul. Sophie, you see how Swant is a vacuum underneath the basket. Sophie will go high for them, but she'll also extend out of her range to get rebounds, and that was a board that she ripped out of the sky. Jones was cutting, Swan thought about it instead, the handoff to Drynan. Taylor with a drive and a turnaround. Oh, Drynan with a great job to get in position, couldn't get the finish she wanted underneath. 14-point deficit. Hartzog with a jump shot is not going to cooperate. Second chance opportunity and a wrestling match for the ball underneath the basket. And that, from the Clan, was Jessica Jones on the hardwood. 5:05 left. We're right about at the midway mark of this third quarter. Clan have surrendered to 5 points on the deficit meter here after trailing by 9 at the half. It's now 14. Sarman with a new shot clock quickly inbounds to Higbee. Kick up to Hartzog, drive, determined drive underneath. And the Clan will step in and take the charge, I believe. And apologies, I didn't get a good look at it. But I believe it was Vanderhelm who stepped in. There'll be a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it here, right at the midway mark of the third quarter. 47-33 the score. Simon Fraser trailing Concordia. And as we mentioned, a logjam of teams battling for that last playoff spot in the GNAC. As the Clan dance team taking to the floor here. Take a look at those standings, and you can see how tight it is and how big a weekend this is for Simon Fraser. The top 6 are going to make the playoffs. Concordia has position 6 at 5 and 7. Simon Fraser at 4 and 8 can move into a tie for the last spot with a victory tonight. But Western Oregon, also at 4 and 8, is at 4 and 8. Western Washington tonight. And the Wolves from Western Oregon will be here on Saturday. So the galaxy of trying to get in to the GNAC playoffs, so much of it hinging on what happens this weekend. And these are huge must-win games. As you see on our video screen, Simon Fraser set to play Western Oregon on Saturday at 7 o'clock. So a score-paying pass from producer Gabe Lynn in Nampa, Idaho tonight. I believe we're talking in the later in the second half, 80-69. Simon Fraser trailing host Northwest Nazarene. Head coach Steve Hansen's team scrapping for victories and finding them tough on the road, trailing by 11 in Idaho to Northwest Nazarene tonight. If we get a final, we will update you with that. Thanks to Gabe Lynn for that one. Back here at the West Gym, Taylor Drynan now with the basketball. Coming out of a timeout, we'll see if the Clan can find some added spark here and get that thing back under double digits. Vanderhelm. That's what's tough when Nicole's got to go to that offhand to dribble with that left wrist. Has the heavy wrap. It's been very sore, very sprained for, I'm trying to think, perhaps a good month now almost, and she's played through it. She's had to sit out the Alaska trip, but she's back on the floor tonight, giving it her all for this 8-person Clan roster. Clan with their 7-person squad, won in Fairbanks and hung tough with Anchorage on Saturday. A long flight home, and now here to play Concordia. There's Higbee underneath, and reaching in and getting a jump ball situation is going to be Swant. It's going to be a Concordia basketball. Oh no, it will be Simon Fraser basketball. So this is the third jump ball situation since beginning when Taylor Jackson was able to wrestle it away. So good hustle there by Swan to get her team the basketball. Here's Jones now, top to Sophie. We're being told 82-69 is the final tonight. Simon Fraser, the man falling to Northwest Nazarene. Didn't realize it was that late in the game. Here's Vanderhelm's jump shot on the baseline for 3. That's not going to fall, and Sarman quickly leading the break up the floor. Quickly, great pirouette turnaround underneath there by Cartwright. And I think Jones is going to get called for the foul underneath. We'll see how the call goes. It will be indeed be Jess Jones being called for the foul. Concordia's Certainly not the Showtime Lakers, but they get down the floor in a hurry. And that pirouette turnaround move in the paint by Cartwright. Stopped by Jones, who has the hard foul underneath. Claudia Hart and Jessica Jones will both check out of the game. Kendall Sands, number 15, at one of the guard spots, and Taylor Jackson now back into the game for Simon Fraser. This is what you define as tough sledding in the GNAC. Blood, sweat, and tears for every point that you earn. The Clan on a point-a-minute meter here. They're scoring at Michael Jordan's proficiency, but it's the whole team, not one player. Here's Concordia off the window, getting to 50, and their largest lead of the game is now 17 points. Fraser has scored 33 points in 27 minutes. A turnaround up fake. Taylor off the window, can't get the roll. Vanderhelm, offensive rebound. She can't finish, and what a tough break for Simon Fraser underneath. Zarman quickly underneath, trying to find a sprinting Hartzog, and they can't get it to happen. So the ball will go back to Simon Fraser. Concordia trying to push the pace for some easy baskets. Really trying to put the Clan in their rearview mirror here in the late stages of the third quarter. But the precision not there for Concordia. Swant almost loses possession there against LeSure, but she drives to the basket, and Sophie, what a great job to get to the window to lay it up and in. As we mentioned, Simon Fraser, a 9-point deficit at the half. It's been ballooned out to 15 here at 50-35. With and a Plaka, 24 and 14 will check in soon for Concordia, but underneath there is Cartwright doing her thing in the low block. And the turnaround move to make it 52-35, equaling their highest lead of the game, 17 points. Swan now put it on the floor, trying to knife through the defense. Cartwright knocks it away as Sophie tried to split the double team. Jackson out to guard Higbee. Instead she'll go back up top to Hartzog. They'll go to Sarman, the point guard, and reset with 16 on the shot clock. 2 minutes left in the third quarter of play here for the West Junior. Great cut to the basket, pull up and jump shot there from 12's not going to go for Sarman, but she gets it right back, and if you give her a second opportunity, she's going to show the nice form there to carry it home off the offensive rebound. 54-35, of course, the offensive rebound has been the bugaboo here for Simon Fraser. Here's Vanderhelm, wrap around to Swant. Vanderhelm cross-court pass. They'll move it around the horn. Sands for three. Kendall can't get it to fall, and Vanderhelm boxed out there by Higbee. She tries to get the rebound. 1:20 left here in the third quarter of play. All Concordia tonight, 54-35. To all our GNAC friends in Portland, hope you're enjoying the broadcast in the fine city of Portland. Of course, a Simon Fraser alum, Jay Triano, the longtime lead assistant with the Portland Trail Blazers, and now the head coach of the Phoenix Suns, but some connection there with Portland. 54-35 our score here, and of course we saw Jason Dustin in town with Western Oregon earlier this year as he transfers from Gonzaga into the GNAC. Kendall Sands will bring it across half court, down 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Sands the hand off to Jones, will move around to Hart. Claudia back to Kendall. Plaka with the defense there. They go to Hart. She kicks it back up top to Sang. Thought about the three. Shot clock now down to 9 as Sands almost loses the handle. Here's Jones. Tough angled shot. The defense there. Sang can't get a sniff on a rebound. And that is tough defense as we're down to 36 seconds remaining. Concordia trying to push the tempo, has had more turnovers in the last 3 or 4 possessions than they have the whole night. Working with a bit of a safety net here with a 19-point lead there. Trying to push the tempo and get some easy baskets. 3-second difference on the clocks here as we get down to 26 seconds left in the third quarter. Fraser losing ground here in the third quarter, trailed by 9 at the half. Kendall almost losing the ball. She does as that Aplaka double team comes. Aplaka will trip over Claudia Hart. And Hart's going to get called for the foul. I believe that's going to be her second. Claudia Hart's second foul of the game. The lead is at 19 as Higbee sets the inbounds with 10 seconds left here in the third quarter. Hartzog down to 6, pulls up from the elbow, comes up shy, a save by Concordia. And as he goes out of bounds, the clock is going to expire, and that's going to be the third quarter play. We'll take a break and be back with more from the West Gym. It's Concordia 54, Simon Fraser 35.
For me, one word to describe competing for SFU is opportunity, because I can continue to pursue my Olympic dream as a swimmer while receiving a top quality Canadian education. I know that whichever path I take after graduation, I am well prepared for it. I am Adrian Vanderhelm, and I am proud to be on Canada's NCAA swim team.
Back with you here at the West Gym. Howard Samura, Clan TV. A tough night for the Simon Fraser Clan women's basketball fan. 54-35 as we start the fourth quarter play. Simon Fraser trailing Concordia. The Cavaliers from Portland, Oregon. It's been all Concordia here tonight. I'm going to break down the numbers. Shows you 15 more field goal attempts is keeping the trend alive for Concordia. They've limited Simon Fraser to 35 shot attempts in 30 minutes of play. Try to wrap your head around that. Suffocating defense. Not only suffocating, but the consistency and the kinetic connectedness is maybe the best way to put it. They just know where each other are on the floor. They trust each other to a huge extent. This has been a great show of team defense by Concordia here tonight as we get down to 10 minutes remaining, start of the fourth quarter. Sarman to skip down low underneath, and execution comes in the form of number 20, Nakia LaSure. She'll lay it up and in for Concordia. The Cavs led by the 18 of Hartzog, the 13 of Cartwright, and the 10 points of Kisa Sarman. Great move by Sophie Swanner. She drives. Sophie can get what she wants in these one-on-one matchups. She drives the ball right at Abby Ablaka. Or check that Irady width. So that's going to send Sophie to the line. The only double-figure Clan score tonight. She's shooting 5 of 7 from the field. Sophie makes the first. She's got 14 points as Taylor Dryden now set to check into the basketball game. Dryden, the point guard, will come in for Tia Sang. 9 points for Taylor Jackson in this game. 5 for Nicole Vanderhelm. 6 for Jessica Jones. Sophie too strong on the second ball, tipped into the hands of Hartzog. Higbee now to whiff. Just hasn't been able to get going in this game. Plagued by some foul trouble and not really getting into a rhythm, but so many others have on this Concordia team. One bounce underneath to LaSure. She can't get it to fall and into the hands of Taylor Dryden on a Gonzaga prep in Washington State, fabled high school. Taylor with a great freshman season, learning under the Aussie native Ellen Kent, now on the bench as a graduate assistant. Kent had such an incredible year, and Taylor Dryden able to soak all of that in. She becomes a starting point guard on this team. The miss on the 3 ball there by Vanderhelm. It's going to go right into the hands of Sarman. Sarman, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in this game, but she is the GNAC assist leader heading into this contest at about 5.5 a game. This time driving inside and denied by Nicole Vanderhelm. Clan a little banged up here, really needing Vanderhelm's presence. As you can see that tape on the left wrist as we look on the Clan TV replay. Great shot there of Nicole Vanderhelm getting a rejection. 13 on the shot clock, inbound catch and shoot. Off the mark there by Williams. Georgia Williams just checked into this game. Go to Hartzog, back up top to Sarman. With and Cartwright providing the size in the front court in this combination for head coach Sean Kelly. Georgia Williams thought about it, Swan guarding her. Williams drive, pivot. Cartwright up top to Hartzog, the 3-ball off the mark. Vanderhelm tries to chase it down, but great hustle by Hartzog. Can't get the roll there, and Sophie with the rebound. Drynan coming up the floor, entry to Taylor. The turnaround move, and Jackson breaks double figures. Taylor now with 11 points in the basketball game, the second leading scorer behind Sophie Swan on this Clan team. But that deficit, my lord, 18 points with 7:25 remaining. 3-ball is gonna fall for Daniela Hartzog, the Beaverton, Oregon senior. Tia Sang now set to check in. Head coach Bruce Langford, not a happy camper, and understandably his team trailing by 21 points in a huge contest here. A game that would have moved the Clan ladies into a tie for that final playoff spot in the GNAC. It does not look like the full effort's there, but 7 minutes still remain. We'll see what the Clan can do over the stretch drive. Here's Taylor, puts it on the deck, goes to the window. And Hartzog there to attempt to strip the ball away. I believe it'll be Clan basketball, but there's only 3 seconds on the shot clock here for the point guard, Taylor Drynan, to work with. Her personnel, Swan, Jackson, Vanderhelm, and Sang. She'll go to Sophie Swan, to Taylor, the quick shot, and they execute wonderfully with 3 seconds on the shot clock. They find Jackson to cut it to 19 with 6:42 remaining. Great cut underneath. Sarman plays the angle off the window, and just like that, they come right back down the floor and get them back. They just keep executing. This is a 5-7 basketball team. Believe it or not, they're under 500. They've lost 5 straight coming in, but they're a determined group here for Coach Kelly, and what a job they've done defensively against Simon Fraser. Here's Drynan with a nice drive against Sarman, and good to see the aggressive tendencies of Taylor Drynan coming out, realizing that she's got to become a scorer here as well in this situation down the stretch. 6:10 remaining. And you can look at this game as a purist and say Simon Fraser down by 21 with 6 minutes remaining may not have a chance here, but you've got to build whatever momentum you can. You've got to take that tangibly into Saturday when Western Oregon comes. In Western Oregon, we haven't got a score, but they are in Western Washington tonight. And both those teams tied with Simon Fraser at 4-8. This Cavaliers team at 5-7. So it's a logjam, and all 4 teams are playing this weekend, with the exception of Simon Fraser not playing Western Washington. But you get the idea. So much to be decided as a collision on the court between Swant and number 23, Cartwright. What Simon Fraser wanted here. Went down big, had to climb back, and did a good job of getting to within 9, but the start was not what they wanted. A 3-ball, I believe, by Hartzog to start the third quarter of play has basically told the story, set the tone, set the tempo here for Concordia. We'll have a nice, relaxing, short trip down the I-5 to Bellingham if this deficit holds for them. Great cut to the basket there, and laying it up and in. A great job there, the 2-person game being played by Vanderhelm and Drynan. Taylor delivering to a cutting Nicole underneath the basket for the lay-in. Approaching 5 minutes remaining, the midway mark of the fourth quarter. Here's Cartwright for three, and she's going to swish at the three ball. It's going to make it a 20-point lead as we officially reach the midway mark of the fourth quarter. Cartwright, who comes in here with that double-double reputation, showing some nice offensive touch. Swan fading from the basket for three. Tia Sang in there working hard. Gets a tip and a timeout called. 4:49 remaining. 64-44. Concordia with the lead. Back with more on Clan TV in just a moment.
When I first came to SFU, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted. When I got into my second semester, I suddenly wasn't so sure what I wanted to do anymore. So I started to explore a little bit. Archaeology, communications, history, even kinesiology. And then I decided to go on exchange to France for a year. I was an orientation leader for a year, became a community advisor in residence, helped start a choir, I even took a rowing course. After SFU, I have lots of possibilities of what I could do, but whatever I do, I know I'll be ready for it.
For me, one word to describe competing for SFU is tradition. Because year after year, players old and new step onto the court with a unified goal to strive to be the best. It is the belief that maintaining a winning tradition is a competitive battle worth fighting for. I am Sophie Swant, and I am proud to be on Canada's NCAA women's basketball team.
And we're back with you here from the West Gym, Howard Samura, Clan TV. Could be a pretty tough Saturday for the Simon Fraser Clan women as they prepare for Western Oregon. They are going to have to amp it up in terms of representing on their defensive glass. They are, I don't know how else to put it to tell you, they've been taken out behind the woodshed today by the Concordia Cavaliers on their defensive glass. Concordia with 18 offensive rebounds to Simon Fraser's 14 rebounds, and head coach Bruce Langford came by the table wanting to know what that count was, and clearly that's got to be a message to the Clan over the next 48 hours as they get ready for Western Oregon. There they come out and they get one. They get a defensive board coming out of that timeout. That's what they needed to get back down the floor. Sang, ooh, and that ball ricocheting off of the hands of Hartzog, intended for Sang, but right into the hands of head coach Bruce Langford. It'll stay with the Clan, and Swant will inbounds right in front of head coach Langford. 4:20 remaining in this basketball game. Not a night the Simon Fraser Clan want to remember fondly. In the half court, here they come. Vanderhelm sees the seam, drives, it closes quickly. And that's been the story all night, the Clan TV crew getting a good shot of that. That's what it's all about. Try to get to that basket and you know you're going to pay the price. It's going to go off a Concordia player, but it'll stand as a mute reminder to Simon Fraser what it's all about in terms of playing tough defense as they try and get an execution off the inbounds. Good tough play there by Claudia Hart as she goes up strong. Foul being called against Rebecca Taylor. So the UK import. Take a look here on the Clan TV replay. We'll take a look as a nice cut there to the basket by Vanderhelm for the basket. Hart too strong on the second, the rebound. They're going to Cartwright. Hartzog, though, a turnover as Claudia Hart comes up with a loose ball, a deflection. Simon Fraser with an opportunity here, under 4 minutes remaining. As we mentioned, the game slipping out of hand, but the opportunity to try to string together some possessions as they get ready for Western Oregon. But just like that, it's stolen away by a Plaka, the Punahu, Hawaii native. She's got the basketball now. Mentioned Punahu as I believe the Barack Obama's high school. Here's a drive on the baseline. Sarman. Not only does she orchestrate, she takes what the defense gives her, and just that great natural instinct to react to the opportunity to drive on the baseline for the lay. And here's Dryden. Sarman stepping up beyond the three-point arc to guard her. Swant wants the triple, and she's going to knock it down. Sophie And a tough season for the Simon Fraser clan is having a great campaign statistically, and she knocks down the triple there. 66-48. Swant has been a all-conference level player at both ends of the floor here for Simon Fraser. There's a Blacka, the crossover move to the elbow, the jump shot. It's not going to find the roll underneath, but there's another offensive rebound. And that's Cartwright going up and getting it. Those are the ones that'll be in the film sessions. The film is going to stop right there. And it's going to be, look at that. And it's going to be box out, box out, box out, get in there, sacrifice, all the things that you have to do if you want to make the postseason in this conference. As we mentioned, this Concordia team stung by 2 narrow losses last week. Losing by a couple possessions on back-to-back games in this conference can take you out of contention in a hurry, and when it becomes 5 straight, as it is for this Concordia team, you know they're going to bring a ton of purpose to the court tonight, which they have. They've come north from Portland and have been the hungrier team. It's been very evident here as Williams now with the basketball. Swant out guarding her. Sophie making life tough. Almost went over the center line. The Blacka guarded by Drynan. They go to Cartwright. Hartzog puts up the jump shot. Off the mark there, but saved by Williams into the hands of Sang. Quick outlet pass to Jones right down the floor. Jess is going to get fouled as she goes to the basket. So Jessica Jones will shoot some free throws. Simon Fraser has taken 1 foul, committed 1 foul in this 4th quarter. Jones is going to step up from 15 and take a couple. Simon Fraser's men losing 82-69 at Northwest Nazarene earlier today, so a tough night here for the Clan. Checking into the game now, Taylor Thompson out of Tucson, Arizona. It may actually be her first action of the night, I'm not sure, but first I've called Taylor Thompson's name, the 5'10 freshman. Clan trailing by 18 points. 9 at the half. Sang doing a good job there to deflect it, but it goes right into the hands of Taylor. Driving with the steal as she leads SFU down the floor. Goes to what looked like an empty wing. Sang fills it just in time to Jones. Just thought about the 3 cross-court pass to Hart. Drives, dishes. Even with a 18-point lead, Sang goes off the back of there. Concordia is still not conceding anything. But Swant able to get one back there. Lead now down to 16 points, but even with many bench players on the floor, they've got 4 of them out there now, it looks like. There's a starter, though, with a turnaround move for the lane, Becky Bailey Cartwright. There's still some determined defense being played. Bruce Langford, the head coach, will call a timeout. We'll keep it here as we hit the final minute of this contest. Simon Fraser, as we mentioned, will play Western Oregon on Saturday. The tip-off at 7 o'clock here at the West Gym. Clan TV, of course, will be here. Be happy to bring you the play-by-play of that contest. Hope you can join us then. It's been a weekend that's going to have to be salvaged by a split if you're Simon Fraser. And with a number of weeks still remaining in the GNAC campaign, have to hope some things go your way, but Sophie Swant of the Clan said it right at our halftime interview that this was a game that could well affect whether they make the postseason or not, and that urgency was not there. Start the 3rd quarter of play as the Concordia Cavaliers built their lead up right off the hop to start the 2nd half of play, and have pushed that lead to 20 here at one stage. Right now with an 18-point lead. Joining now with the basketball. Taylor the drive. Tries to split the defense, and Aplaka is going to get called for the foul. Well, actually, no, number 5. It's Tamika Etherly. That blue headband getting called for the foul there. That's her second of the game. So Simon Fraser, with his 8-person staff and talking to head coach Bruce Langford as we get down to under a minute, mentioned to me today the potential of more recruits being brought in addition to the 3 they've already announced. It looks like the Clan recruiting class could be a bit larger. And of course, they need the numbers here as Williams knocks down the triple. And the bench explodes to cheer for Georgia Williams, the junior out of Ashland, Oregon. Williams is a transfer from Columbia. I'm not sure if that's the Columbia. It does say Columbia University. He's driving with the skip on the baseline to Sands. Kendall to Jones, who drives in. Jones gets it to go. And Jessica Jones showing you some improved strength brought on through that redshirt freshman season as she powers through the defense for the lay-in. The game clock now down to 15. They'll count them off here at the West Gym on Diversity Night. A great crowd and a nice atmosphere. Unfortunately, Simon Fraser not getting the effort they wanted to get into the GNAC playoff race. So count them down here as we get down to 4 seconds remaining. The final score here from the West Gym, 72 Concordia, 55 Simon Fraser. Tough night for the Clan ladies. They'll have a day and a half and a bit here to regroup until Saturday's game when Western Oregon comes to town. So the Wolves against the Simon Fraser Clan Saturday. This one in the books at 72-55 for everybody on our Clan TV crew. For our executive producer Steve Frost, for producer Gabe Lynn, for everybody on the Clan TV crew, I'm Howard Simura bidding you farewell until Saturday. We'll see you then for Simon Fraser in Western Oregon.